Former President Trump was inside a Manhattan courtroom today as closing arguments began in that civil fraud case that could result in his company being banned from doing business in the state.
And listen, I know some people don't care about January 6th, but let me remind you about something real quick. He was also a terrible president before that!
The political landscape in the United States has been dramatically shaken as comedian Leslie Jones launched a scathing and relentless critique against former President Donald Trump.
Your favorite auntie is back to straighten out America. Because America needs me. Lord, have mercy.
With the 2024 election just a few months away,
the election is now less than 8 months away, and guess what? America is on the path to doing something really, really stupid.
And Trump recently found guilty of 34 charges in the New York hush money case involving Stormy Daniels.
Former President Donald Trump is now a convicted felon. He is the first ever former U.S. president to be convicted of a crime. This afternoon, a jury in New York City determined he conducted business fraud in a scheme to illegally influence the 2016 election.
Jones's attack adds another layer to an already turbulent and contentious period in American politics. This moment is not just a spectacle of political theater.
Every time I turn on the news, I'm shouting at the screen like it's a horror movie. Don't go in there, America! Leatherface is in there, America! I mean, are we going to really bring back a man who tried to overthrow the government?
It signifies a pivotal juncture where public figures wield their influence to shape electoral outcomes and public opinion. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Leslie Jones, known for her unabashed humor and fearless commentary.
We know we should go to the doctor, but instead we get medical advice from the internet. Listen, I'm guilty of it too. When I feel sick, I look up symptoms on WebMD. I know it's irresponsible, but I can't control myself, probably because I'm dying of scurvy.
Did not hold back as she tore into Trump's credibility, character, and legacy. Her takedown was comprehensive, addressing not only the legal implications of Trump's recent conviction.
With today's verdict, former President Donald Trump was not only convicted on 34 felony counts, he also made history, becoming the first former U.S. president to be convicted of a crime.
But also the broader context of his controversial presidency and the ethical quandaries it perpetuated.
And listen, I know the pandemic wasn't Trump's fault, but Trump made it worse every chance he got. Don't you people remember the kind of advice he was giving us?
The New York case, which found Trump guilty of 34 charges.
Guilty, count 33 and 34, guilty. That is Donald J. Trump, defendant in New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty on all 34 felony counts. That is the verdict here in this case.
Primarily revolves around hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. This scandal has not only tarnished Trump's image.
The prosecution today called their star witness, their porn star witness, Stormy Daniels, took the stand this morning. And for Donald, I can only imagine the nervous farting was off the charts. It was.
But has also exposed the lengths to which he went to conceal his alleged misconduct. Jones's critique was not just about the charges themselves, but what they represent in the grander scheme of Trump's political career.
He told us to inject ourselves with disinfectant! We turned to him for advice, and dude was like, kill yourself.
She painted a picture of a man whose actions have consistently undermined the values of transparency, honesty, and accountability. Traits that are essential for anyone aspiring to the highest office in the land. By focusing on these character flaws, Jones underscored the idea that Trump's actions were not mere mistakes, but part of a broader pattern of deceit and manipulation.
This is like asking Jeffrey Epstein to watch your kids. Or a pedophile priest to watch your kids. Or that sick who used to work at Nickelodeon to watch your kids.
Her attack also delved into the cultural and societal impacts of Trump's presidency. Jones highlighted how Trump's rhetoric and policies have emboldened divisive ideologies and exacerbated social tensions. She pointed to the rise in hate crimes.
This is like a movie where you see the disaster coming from a mile away and nobody is stopping it. Every time I turn on the news, I'm shouting at the screen like it's a horror movie. Don't go in there, America! Leatherface is in there, America!
The polarization of the American populace and the erosion of trust in democratic institutions as direct consequences of Trump's time in office. By framing her critique in this way, Jones effectively linked Trump's personal legal troubles to the broader malaise affecting the nation. One of the most potent aspects of Jones's critique was her emphasis on the moral bankruptcy of Trump's actions.
Former President Trump was inside a Manhattan courtroom today as closing arguments began in that civil fraud case that could result in his company being banned from doing business in the state.
She drew a stark contrast between the values that Americans should aspire to and the values that Trump's behavior exemplifies. In doing so, she not only condemned Trump's past actions,
Go on and on about why it would be a terrible idea to bring back Trump. But you know what? I guess I shouldn't be surprised that America is about to do something that we know is harmful to us, because that is what we always do. Look at how we treat our own bodies.
But also warned against the dangers of allowing such a figure to regain power. This moral framing resonates deeply in a country that prides itself on its democratic ideals.
We know we should take care of our mental health, but we entertain ourselves by watching documentaries of serial killers.
And ethical standards. Jones's takedown was also notable for its timing. With the 2024 election on the horizon, her comments serve as a rallying cry for those opposed to Trump's potential return to the political stage. By articulating the stakes of the upcoming election in such stark terms, Jones has galvanized a segment of the electorate that is deeply concerned about the direction of the country. Her critique functions as a clarion call for vigilance and active participation in the democratic process. Moreover, Jones's takedown has added fuel to the media frenzy surrounding Trump's legal troubles. Her high-profile status ensures that her comments will be widely disseminated and debated, keeping the focus on Trump's misdeeds and amplifying their significance in the public consciousness. This media amplification is crucial in an era where public opinion is often shaped by the narratives that dominate the news cycle. Jones's commentary also intersects with broader discussions about the role of celebrities in politics. Her takedown exemplifies how public figures can leverage their platforms to influence political discourse and mobilize public opinion. In an age where traditional political actors often struggle to connect with the electorate, figures like Jones bring a unique blend of entertainment and advocacy that can cut through the noise and resonate with a broad audience. Another layer to Jones's critique is its potential impact on Trump's base. While his core supporters have shown remarkable loyalty, the relentless drumbeat of legal troubles and public criticism could erode his support over time. Jones's commentary adds to the cumulative effect of these negative narratives, potentially swaying undecided voters and even causing some of Trump's supporters to reconsider their allegiance. By framing her critique in terms of values and ethical standards, Jones appeals to the conscience of the electorate.
And listen, I know some people don't care about January 6th, but let me remind you about something real quick. He was also a terrible president before that!
Challenging them to reflect on what kind of leadership they truly want. The reaction to Jones's takedown has been swift and polarized, reflecting the deep divisions within American society. Supporters of Trump have dismissed her comments as partisan attacks, while his detractors have hailed her bravery and candor. This polarization underscores the challenges facing the country as it approaches another critical election. Jones's critique is not just a commentary on Trump, but a reflection of the broader battle for the soul of the nation. In the wake of her takedown, other public figures have also weighed in, amplifying her message and adding their voices to the chorus of criticism. Comedians like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert have also used their platforms to lampoon Trump's legal troubles, turning the scandal into a recurring theme in their shows. This collective effort by public figures to hold Trump accountable through humor and satire underscores the power of comedy as a tool for political critique. Furthermore, Jones's critique has sparked a wider conversation about accountability and the rule of law. Her comments highlight the importance of holding public figures to account, regardless of their status or power. This emphasis on accountability is crucial in a democratic society, where the rule of law must apply equally to all. By focusing on Trump's legal troubles, Jones reinforces the idea that no one is above the law and that ethical conduct is a prerequisite for public office. Jones's takedown also intersects with the broader #MeToo movement, which has brought issues of sexual misconduct and accountability to the forefront of public discourse. Her focus on the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels underscores the ongoing struggle for justice and the importance of addressing sexual misconduct at all levels of society. This connection to the #MeToo movement adds another layer of significance to Jones's critique, aligning it with a broader cultural push for change and accountability. Leslie Jones's scathing critique of Donald Trump set the stage for a broader discussion about the former president's failed promises, a narrative eagerly picked up by another prominent commentator, Stephen Colbert.
Saying happy Monday to everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. I did. I mean, the weather here in New York was absolutely Donald Trump as a convicted felon.
Known for his incisive political satire,
We are right in the middle. We are smack dab in the heart of primary season, and Donald Trump is out there trying to win over the voters that matter most, his juries.
Colbert dissected Trump's myriad unfulfilled promises, exposing the gap between his rhetoric and reality.
You may remember last May, a jury found that Trump sexually assaulted Carol and then defamed her by lying about it, a crime known in Republican circles as presumptive nominee.
This analysis serves to further undermine Trump's credibility.
Last week, Trump went on his first U.S. tour as a convicted felon. On Thursday, he was out in Arizona at something called Dream City Megachurch, where he railed against President Biden's recent executive order on immigration.
As he eyes the 2024 election, casting doubt on his ability to deliver on his grandiose claims.
Joe Biden's order, this is his new order, so he's getting killed in the polls. People say that, look, this is really bad what's happening on the border. So they come up with his order. I won't say it because I don't like using the word bull in front of these beautiful children. So I won't say it.
I won't say it.
Colbert began his critique by revisiting the cornerstone of Trump's 2016 campaign, the promise to drain the swamp. Trump had vowed to rid Washington of corruption and special interests.
Secret Service said we have to make sure everyone's safe. They don't think about me. I'm working my ass off. I'm working hard. This is hard work.
Yes, no, listen. I am doing hard work. I'm standing, I'm complaining. Not to mention, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm pointing to that guy right there.
Portraying himself as an outsider who would bring about unprecedented transparency and accountability. However, Colbert pointed out that Trump's administration was marred by scandals and ethical breaches, including the convictions of several close associates.
To prepare a report that will tell the judge more about the defendant. How could any part of Donald Trump still be a mystery? Especially to Judge Merchan, who was in the courtroom with him for 6 weeks. He could pick Trump out of a lineup by smell.
The swamp, it seemed, had not been drained, but rather restocked with a different set of alligators. Another major promise that Colbert highlighted was Trump's pledge to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border and have Mexico pay for it. This promise, perhaps more than any other.
Now, Trump seemed confident that a bipartisan immigration solution was possible.
Having the Democrats in with us is absolutely vital because this should be a bipartisan bill. This should be a bill of love.
You know what they say, if you love someone, kick them out of the country. If they come back to you, build a wall so they can't get in.
Became a symbol of Trump's tough-on-immigration stance. Yet, Colbert noted that the wall remains incomplete and that the funding battles in Congress resulted in American taxpayers footing the bill.
Trump gave his price for an immigration deal. He wants to end the green card lottery, end family immigration, and he's demanding $18 billion for the initial phase of his Mexican border wall. What? No! You said Mexico would pay for the wall. It was your whole thing. You chanted it. Now you've just forgotten it? That's like Bon Jovi forgetting the lyrics to You Give Love a Bad Name.
This failure not only represented a broken promise, but also an expensive and contentious policy that never achieved its intended goals. Colbert also took aim at Trump's promise to bring back jobs and revitalize the American manufacturing sector.
And we're starting that again, and it's happening again, as you know. We're here today to celebrate the greatest products in the world, products made with American heart, American sweat, and American pride. We're thrilled to showcase incredible American-made goods.
Trump frequently claimed he would rejuvenate industries and restore jobs that had been lost to globalization and technological change.
I'm going to bring back millions of jobs. Protecting our workers also means reforming our system of legal immigration.
However, Colbert pointed out that while the economy saw periods of growth, the structural issues in manufacturing remained unresolved. Many of the promised factories and jobs never materialized, leaving workers in struggling communities disillusioned.
If he wins, his inaugural address is just going to be a big game of Would You Rather. My fellow Americans, to heal this divided nation, I call on you to answer the crucial question of our time. Would you rather sleep on a bed of snakes or eat a bowl of doo-doo?
Healthcare was another critical area where Trump fell short.
His first target of his tweets was healthcare. You see, he's decided he wants to kill Obamacare in the courts. And remember repeal and replace? We're going to repeal and replace. Well, after 9 years, they still haven't gotten around to the replace part. They have no plan. In fact, not only do they not have a plan, there is no plan.
During his campaign, he promised to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, ACA, with something much better. Despite multiple attempts, Trump and the Republican-controlled Congress failed to pass a comprehensive replacement.
They may not have a plan to make a plan, but they are working hard on a plan for you to never find out that they will never have had a plan.
Colbert emphasized how this failure left millions of Americans in limbo, with uncertainty about their health care coverage and rising costs.
Health care. You see, he's eventually going to get out of this promise with technicalities. As promised, I am providing great health care. You will have access to the best doctors.
The promise of a superior health care plan proved to be an empty one, highlighting the complexities and challenges of healthcare reform.
Okay. That fantastic health care plan can be yours for the small price of re-electing the man who does not know what it is.
Trump's handling of the national debt and budget deficit also came under scrutiny. He had promised to eliminate the national debt within 8 years.
Like death and Donald Trump not paying his taxes. Speaking of which, last night we learned the New York Times obtained Donald Trump's taxes for the last 20 years. We got the returns! And Trump is in some deep W-2 due.
A bold claim that resonated with fiscally conservative voters. Yet Colbert pointed out that under Trump's administration, the national debt and budget deficits soared to new heights, exacerbated by tax cuts for the wealthy and increased government spending. This financial mismanagement stands in stark contrast to Trump's self-portrayal as a savvy businessman and fiscal conservative. Colbert didn't stop at economic promises. He also addressed Trump's pledge to improve infrastructure. The Infrastructure Week trope became a running joke as numerous announcements failed to yield substantial projects. Trump's grand plans for rebuilding America's crumbling infrastructure never came to fruition.
Enforcement of our trade rules. As we rebuild our industries, it is also time to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure.
Despite bipartisan recognition of the need for such investments, this broken promise left many wondering about the efficiency and priorities of Trump's administration. In the realm of foreign policy, Colbert critiqued Trump's promise to end endless wars.
Haba, did you instruct anyone to hurt Ms. Carroll? Trump, no, I just wanted to defend myself, my family, and frankly, the presidency. Judge Kaplan broke in and instructed the jury to disregard everything after no.
And bring American troops home. While Trump did make some troop withdrawals, his tenure saw continued military engagements and strategic ambiguities that often confused allies and adversaries alike. Colbert pointed out that the promise of a coherent and peace-oriented foreign policy
We are right in the middle. We are smack dab in the heart of primary season, and Donald Trump is out there trying to win over the voters that matter most, his juries. Today
was undermined by inconsistent actions and rhetoric.
Donald Trump, be the people. America decides and/or convicts.
We are an institute and a powerful death penalty.
Now, Trump actually testified today.
Leaving America's global standing more uncertain than before.
Sick, and Alina Habba also said she was feeling ill and had a fever after being exposed to COVID-19. Of course, her client right there could have cured her instantly with a little horse paste and a shot of bleach. But it turns out she did recover kind of quickly because
Colbert's takedown extended to Trump's environmental promises as well.
Please, please, please let me get what I want, which for most Trump supporters is custody of their kids. Now, sure. Nope. Sorry. After seeing
Trump had promised to prioritize clean air and water, but his administration rolled back numerous environmental regulations, often siding with corporate interests over public health. Colbert highlighted the irony of these actions.
After seeing footage of the rally yesterday, the Smiths guitarist Johnny Marr denounced Trump's use of their song, adding, "Consider this shut right down right now."
Given Trump's frequent claims to be a champion of the environment,
Ruined the hunt, going out of her mind with excitement, chasing all those birds and having the time of her life. But who among us hasn't seen a dog running through the fields, not a care in the world, and thought, you deserve to die?
the rollback of protections not only contradicted his promises, but also posed long-term risks to the country's natural resources and public health. The commentator also delved into Trump's promise of unity and healing.
Think that Trump would win.
What the is wrong with us? Seriously?
Trump had claimed he would be a president for all Americans, yet his tenure was marked by deepening divisions and heightened social tensions. Colbert emphasized how Trump's inflammatory rhetoric and policies
Something about that happy puppy clearly pushed Noam over the edge. She writes, "At that moment, I realized I had to put her down. So she got her gun and led crickets to a gravel pit. No! Bad psycho governor! No! Sit down! Bad! Stay away!"
often exacerbated racial, social, and political divides, leaving the nation more fragmented. The promise of unity was perhaps one of the most glaring failures, as the country saw increased polarization and conflict. Colbert's analysis, much like Jones's critique, resonated deeply with those who felt betrayed by Trump's unfulfilled promises.
I have bad news about your party's nominee. But
by methodically dissecting these failures, Colbert painted a picture of a leader who consistently overpromised and underdelivered.
And I am not purchasing the story. I am not going to be involved with a porn star. So instead, Michael Cohen paid $130,000 in hush money to Stormy Daniels himself, and Trump later repaid him with a series of checks. Of course, paying off a porn star in installments is technically called the getting laid away plan.
This critique is particularly potent in the context of the upcoming 2024 election, as it challenges voters to reflect on Trump's record.
Family also owned a male goat, and Noam decided to kill the goat the same way she had just killed Cricket the dog. Oh my God, what kind of reverse John Wick farm is she running out there? So, why did she
and question his capability to lead effectively?
Unconfirmed allegations that Donald Trump was actually farting in the courtroom, and he was doing so while falling asleep. That's right, farting while falling asleep, or as I call it.
Moreover, Colbert's focus on failed promises ties into a broader narrative of accountability.
Pecker's lawyers warned him that it was potentially a crime and that Pecker may have already broken campaign finance law by paying McDougal, which of course asked the eternal question, if publisher Pecker paid a Playboy Playmate, how many Playboy Playmates did publisher Pecker pay?
By holding Trump to his word and highlighting the discrepancies between his promises and actions.
The children, they ask me, what do you think of children? What do you tell them? I say, no drugs, no alcohol. I also say no cigarettes. Don't have the cigarettes. Don't have cigarettes. Don't have them. I have friends that can't stop smoking.
Powerful. Powerful words. Reminds me of Nancy Reagan's famous PSA, just say no drugs, no alcohol. Just also say no cigarettes. Don't have the cigarettes. Don't have the cigarettes. Don't have them.
Colbert reinforces the importance of integrity and reliability in public office.
What do I know about branding? Maybe nothing, but I've got brand it. But if I were Boeing, I would fix the Boeing 737 MAX. Trump continued, add some additional great features and rebrand the plane with a new name.
This emphasis on accountability is crucial, especially in a political climate where trust in leaders is increasingly fragile.
I'm just kidding. He tweeted, so ridiculous. Greta must work on her anger management problem, then go to a good old-fashioned movie with a friend. Chill, Greta, chill. First of all,
Colbert's takedown also serves to remind voters of the tangible impacts of political promises.
Maybe nothing, but I've got brand it. But if I were Boeing, I would fix the Boeing 737 MAX. Trump continued, add some additional great features and rebrand the plane with a new name. No product has suffered like this one. But again, what the hell do I know?
The unfulfilled commitments on jobs, healthcare, infrastructure, and more have real consequences for everyday Americans. By bringing these issues to the forefront, Colbert ensures that the discussion around Trump's candidacy is grounded in substantive concerns.
Then he tweeted, study what General Pershing of the United States did to terrorists when caught. There was no more radical Islamic terror for 35 years. What the? Who the huh? What?
Rather than mere political spectacle. Following the incisive critiques by Leslie Jones and Stephen Colbert.
In a minute, 1 minute, and is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
Another influential commentator, Jimmy Kimmel, has entered the fray, focusing on his support for President Joe Biden.
The president, but I am also a dad. I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process as Hunter considers an appeal. Jill and I will always be there for Hunter and the rest of our family with our love and support. Nothing will ever change that. Same thing Trump would say about Eric in this situation. You know, Hunter now faces up to 25 years in prison. The sentencing date has not been set. Maybe they should, you know what? They should let Trump and Hunter.
Kimmel, leveraging his platform and widespread appeal, has passionately articulated why he believes Biden is the better choice for America, especially in contrast to Trump.
Father's Day to all, including the radical left degenerates that are rapidly bringing the United States of America into third world nation status with their many attempts at trying to influence our sacred court system into breaking to their very sick and dangerous will. And that's sweet, too. That's what a sick individual. That's, you know, I'll tell you.
His support underscores a broader narrative of Biden's presidency being one of restoration, competence, and ethical governance, which stands in stark contrast to the tumultuous and scandal-ridden tenure of Trump. Kimmel began by emphasizing Biden's experience and steady hand, particularly highlighting his long tenure in public service and his deep understanding of both domestic and international affairs.
I guess you'd be mad on Father's Day if there was a whole day dedicated to your two biggest failures, Drippy and Dopey. The Dolson twins. By the way, the golden child, Ivanka, came out of hiding to post Happy Father's Day, celebrating all the amazing dads out there with love and gratitude, alongside a picture of, I guess, her as a baby with her annoyed-looking father feeding her.
Kimmel pointed out that Biden's extensive career in politics provides him with a nuanced perspective on the challenges facing America, something Trump, with his outsider status, never possessed.
It's doing really well. They're having a lot of fun with it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's not my primary business, but it is a great fragrance. I'd like to say that if you put it on, anything you want will come true.
He can even become president. That's our president now. But what could Trump have possibly promised? There are so many possibilities. It really could be anything to...
This experience, Kimmel argued, is crucial in navigating the complex and often volatile world of international relations.
The little ones, they made me, each made me a card for Father's Day. I brought them in because I thought you might want to see. This is my daughter Jane made this. Happy Farters Day, Dad. Little naked butt farting there. And then there's me farting on the whole family. You were a great dad, but you smell, with smell lines. Excellent, Jane. And then
economic management and legislative negotiation. Central to Kimmel's support for Biden is the president's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. He praised Biden for his swift action in rolling out vaccines, implementing mask mandates, and supporting public health measures based on scientific advice. Kimmel contrasted this with Trump's often cavalier and contradictory approach to the pandemic, which included downplaying the virus's severity and promoting unproven treatments.
Are you ready to rock back and forth? It's always like he's waiting for a spaceship to beam him up. There's a clip of Joe Biden going around today, and they say he froze and had to be escorted off stage on Saturday night. I was standing right next to him when it happened. He didn't.
Under Biden, Kimmel argued, there was a sense of coherence and leadership that was sorely lacking during the Trump administration, leading to a more effective response and ultimately saving lives.
Trump also weighed in on which classified files he would declassify were he to become president again. And forget the fact that he had 4 years to do this the first time around. And forget the fact that he brought half the files back to his house. What I found interesting, he's very quick to answer the first two questions, but number three, not quite as fast.
Economic recovery under Biden was another focal point of Kimmel's endorsement. He highlighted the significant strides made in job creation.
Good afternoon in New York, and for the United States of America, we have a verdict in the case of the people versus DJ. Donald John Trump is guilty of 34 felony charges. After 7 long weeks, the courtroom is empty and Donald Trump's diaper is full. The decision was
economic stimulus and support for small businesses. The American Rescue Plan, which provided direct relief to millions of Americans, was a particular point of praise. Kimmel noted that Biden's policies have been aimed at helping the average American, as opposed to the wealthy and well-connected, drawing a clear line between Biden's populist economic approach and Trump's tax cuts for the rich. The reduction in unemployment and the stabilizing of the economy under Biden were seen as direct results of these policies, showcasing effective governance and a focus on the needs of the many. Kimmel also addressed Biden's commitment to infrastructure, contrasting it with Trump's numerous unfulfilled promises.
Which, you think he knows anyone with a phone can be on TikTok? It's not an honor? Probably not. By the way, we took a look at Trump's TikTok. He is currently following no one, not even his own son who is following him. He's not following his son back. And that made me curious, so I checked Truth Social. This is interesting. Trump follows every member of his family.
Under Biden, the historic bipartisan infrastructure law was passed, leading to tangible improvements in roads, bridges, public transportation, and broadband access. Kimmel emphasized that these investments not only create jobs, but also modernize America's infrastructure, setting the stage for long-term economic growth and competitiveness. This, he argued, is a testament to Biden's ability to deliver on his promises and effect real change. Climate change and environmental policy were other key areas where Kimmel voiced strong support for Biden. He highlighted Biden's rejoining of the Paris Agreement, reversing Trump's decision to withdraw from the international accord.
And I think it's just a disgrace and we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win.
And if we don't win, we'll say we won anyway. Listen, the only thing... I have bad news. The only thing you're going to be fighting to win is the Jell-O cup on your prison cafeteria tray. 34...
Kimmel praised Biden's comprehensive approach to addressing climate change, which includes ambitious targets for reducing carbon emissions, investing in renewable energy, and promoting sustainable practices. These efforts, Kimmel noted, stand in stark contrast to Trump's rollback of environmental protection.
Prison cafeteria tray. 34 felony charges. That's 34. That's 34. That's 34, folks. We should automatically make those jurors the new Supreme Court. Now the big question is, will he do time? After he is sentenced, he'll be allowed to appeal. Sentencing is scheduled for July 11th, which happens to be the day Aaron Burr shot Alexander Hamilton.
And denial of climate science. Kimmel also lauded Biden's approach to health care, particularly his efforts to expand access and affordability. The expansion of the Affordable Care Act under Biden has provided millions more Americans with health insurance and has aimed to reduce prescription drug prices. Kimmel emphasized that health care is a fundamental right and praised Biden's commitment to improving the system for all Americans. This was particularly poignant given the numerous attempts by Trump to dismantle the ACA without providing a viable alternative. In terms of social justice,
Trump White House pressured Disney to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Now, Disney is the company that owns ABC, our network, and Jimmy Kimmel is me, so obviously I was interested in seeing what it was. But according to the story, in 2018, Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes that I made about him, he directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in. The report says at least 2 calls were made.
Kimmel highlighted Biden's work on racial equity and police reform. The president's commitment to addressing systemic racism and promoting justice was a key point of Kimmel's support.
I need to see some black folk on the grass.
Maybe he thought he was dancing. I don't know if maybe he's doing the mannequin. That's a new... It looked like the edible just kicked in really hard. Of course, Fox News, of course, had a field day with that video. Here's the thing about Fox News. When Biden behaves like a mummy, it's because he's too...
Initiatives such as the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, efforts to increase funding for community policing, and policies aimed at reducing racial disparities in the criminal justice system were all praised. Kimmel argued that Biden's actions demonstrate a sincere commitment to making America more just and equitable, a stark contrast to the divisive and often inflammatory rhetoric of Trump.
From DJ TJ, Donald Jr., it was very forceful. He wrote, "This is your final warning. When I give my dad his birthday card, will your name be there? You've always been his top supporter, so I'm saving the last spot on the card." I have? I feel like I haven't. Maybe not top. I would love to have my name on your dad's, on this card he will never see.
Foreign policy under Biden also received commendation from Kimmel. He pointed to Biden's efforts to restore alliances and rebuild America's standing on the global stage. Under Biden, relations with NATO allies have been strengthened, and a more collaborative approach to international challenges has been adopted. Kimmel noted that Biden's foreign policy is rooted in diplomacy and mutual respect, contrasting sharply with Trump's often erratic and confrontational style.
News story out there. It never ends. Virtually any time I speak on the phone to a foreign leader, I understand that there may be many people listening from various U.S. agencies, not to mention those from the other country itself. No problem. Knowing all of this, is anybody dumb enough to believe that I would say something inappropriate with a foreign leader while on such a...
This return to a more predictable and stable foreign policy, Kimmel argued, is crucial for maintaining global peace and security. Kimmel's support for Biden is also rooted in the president's focus on unity and healing. He praised Biden for his consistent efforts to reach across the aisle and his emphasis on bipartisanship. This approach, Kimmel noted, is vital for addressing the deep divisions within American society and fostering a sense of national unity. Biden's message of reconciliation and his attempts to find common ground stand in stark contrast to Trump's polarizing and often incendiary rhetoric. Kimmel argued that Biden's leadership is essential for mending the social fabric of the nation and promoting a more inclusive and cooperative political environment. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, do you think Leslie Jones's actions will impact Trump's 2024 election chances? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.